All right, Shalom. First off, I want to start by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Raha, Kwadash. Salutations and double honors unto the elders unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Um, this is gonna be, I'm back at it again with simple basics. Lord willing is edifying. And the title of this video is gonna be "We in the Last Kingdom of Man." And sorry, my nose is stuffed, so lock you for sounding off. So yes, so the title of this video, as I was saying, is that we are in the last kingdom of man. And let's start in 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 5. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. The end is being manifested through sure prophecy, and by everything that has been written has been. And what I mean by sure prophecy is that the prophecies, most of the prophecies at least, that were written in this holy book have been fulfilled. Name any other book made in the world hold much power like this one book. It is to show that this is the true word of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. So 2nd Ezra chapter 9 verse 5. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. So because of our sure prophecy, the end will be manifest, and it is speaking right now. We are seeing, because of what we're seeing, we can tell, hey, it's high time to wake out of sleep because the end is drawing near. Therefore we wait for the great ending of the last rulership of man to rule the earth. Esau Edom, we understand that yes, he even though he sold his birthright, was yet blessed by the sword, and he was blessed to hold power over the earth for a while, as we know and see that he is in his heaven as we speak. So he should enjoy it because it is coming in an end. His glory is gonna be put to shame. Jacob was promised an everlasting kingdom, was promised the inheritance, was promised as the chosen seed and promised the promised land. Yes, So let me just Oh yeah. So since Jacob was the one blessed, it doesn't mean that he's not gonna be punished. The Bible kept it real. Everything that the prophets were given by the Spirit to give was in reason of us understanding what we have to understand where we're at today. There's a reason why Israel is at the bottom, because they disobeyed the Most High. Okay, how did they disobey the Most High? Well, there was a contract, there was a covenant by blood. They didn't kept their end of the bargain. So the Most High punished them for disobeying. He scattered them because they worship idols, because they went back to their sinful nature. They came out of repentance, and we understand that the Most High is showing us how he dealt with his nation. He didn't kept it out. So we understand and we know that through the disobedience of the Most High, what's it called? We are at the end of the captivity that they are in, because we understand and I'm going all over the place. We understand that understanding the 4 captivities helps you track down the course that Israel took. Where they're at to this day, and in the last kingdom of man, which is under the so-called white man, self-proclaimed white man, Esau Edom, under that last kingdom, that last captivity, our salvation will come, is when the Most High will come and deliver his nation out of the captivity and bondage of not only sin, but of Esau Edom. So let me just continue. Salakia. I was losing my train of thought. So this is 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? And when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So that the time that we are in is during Esau's rule, is what I was trying to get at. We will see his downfall in our lifetime, Lord willing, And I have no doubt that I'm not going to see it in my 50s. I'll probably see it, Lord willing, I'll see it soon, because we do want to see the end of this wicked place take place. Because we want the righteous rulership and authority to refresh this earth, So now, the true Jake doesn't want to hear the people hope or what they hope for, because they lost hope. Therefore, don't lose hope. Wait and endure to the end, and he will come, Now, let's just continue. This is Luke chapter 1, verse 31. And this is the angel speaking to Mary. And behold, thou shalt conceive in thy womb, and bring forth a son, and shalt call his name Yahushai. Verse 32. He shall be great, and shall be called the Son of the Highest, and the Lord power shall give him the throne of his father David. And he shall reign over the house of Jacob forever, and of his kingdom there shall be no end. Then this was given unto Mary as a promise, as the prophecy of the Son to come, the Redeemer, the one that redeemed the nation of Israel because they've broken the first covenant, the one that reconciled the lost sheep to the Father, because he reconciled that broken relationship. So like it was promised to come and set up the everlasting kingdom. Well, he came, the people neglected or whatnot, and he was crucified, right? And then he went to the kingdom of heaven, and we're at the time of the Gentiles is being fulfilled. The man of sin is being revealed, which is Esau, Edom. The prophets were awakened, starting with Elijah. Were awakened by the Spirit. And now we're here prophesying as watchmen, declaring the end of Esau's, Edom's. So what I'm saying is, from the time of his the crucifixion and him going to heaven to this day, he hasn't come back, as we know, and established his everlasting kingdom, which is prophesied and promised to happen. He shall reign over the house of Jacob forever. The blessing, yes, even though Yasharallah was chosen and blessed. So like I'm reading the wrong notes right here. So like it says right here in let me just read Luke chapter 1 verse 33. And he shall reign over the house of Jacob forever, and of his kingdom there shall be no end. When Yahushua comes back to restore the house of Jacob, which the house of Jacob is the house of Israel, which consists of 12 nations, the 12 tribes of Israel, that's the true house of Jacob. It didn't say that the house of Judah, and it's not only about Jews. The true Jews are from the tribe of Judah. That's why when people come to us in camp and ask us, what are you guys, Christians or Jews? Well, we're not Jews, particularly, because we're not the tribe of Judah. And to understand what is a Jew and what is the nation of Israel. So, it says right here that he shall reign over the house of Jacob, or the house of Israel, the 12 nations, and of his kingdom there shall be no end. And that's going to come after, as it said in 2nd Ezra chapter 9. Chapter 9 verse 5. No. Chapter 6 verse 9. For Esau is the end, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Now, let me go to Daniel chapter 7, and I'm going to start at 9. After that last kingdom of man, the kingdom of heaven will be ruling the earth. So this is Daniel chapter 7, verse 9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, the four rulerships, the four last rulerships that were prophesied in Daniel 7 here, were cast down. And the Ancient of Days did sit, which is Yahweh, Ancient of Days. It has no beginning, no end. Whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was said, and the books were opened. It is the glorious day, Lord willing, that we are not only called but chosen, that we get to see the council of Yahweh Shem Yahushua taking place. It'll be a glorious day. Yeah, a lot of people here fathom in the past with Rome, and it's when the laws and the council of their men were being gathered, and the decree of the ruler was being given and stuff like that. Yeah, they fathom in those things, but man, it's a power that we're gonna witness. The government righteous power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua taking control of this place. And it will be a glorious thing to see, and Lord willing, we'll be there. Daniel chapter 7, verse 11. I beheld then, because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake, I beheld even till the beast was slain, and his body destroyed, and given to the burning flame. And there's the great words, the great blasphemy that the last kingdom was, the last beast was speaking, was that he viewed himself as to be the Most High, was the kingdom of Esau Edom, through his science, through his the reason why they're trying to control life and death, and the only one that does that is Yahweh Shem Yahushua, who made life and death, who is in control of the balance of our destinies. We are not, plain and simple. So yes, the one that spoke different than all the other beasts was the dragon with the whore and its back. The things that they did, blaspheming the name of the Most High, the way the changing the likeness of the Most High to the likeness of the heathen nation, blaspheming the tabernacle of the Most High, calling those other freaks to be the chosen, those small hats, when they're not. They're all devils and pedophiles. Calling blaspheming the names, blaspheming of those who dwell in heaven. They don't have respect for the chariots of the Lord, but call them E.T. So this all being showed through the prophecies and through this where it's going at. And since this last kingdom will come to an end, we are going to wait patiently for the coming of the kingdom of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. This is all what the message is for the elect and for the remnant few, to repent and to wait. This is Daniel chapter 7, and let me just continue going because I don't want to go off topic. Chapter 7, verse 12. As concerning the rest of the beast, they had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and time. We have to understand that the Most High gives the dominion to men, and He's the one that takes it away. The dominion of Esau Edom is going to be taken away. The sins of this nation have been raised up in heaven, just as the sins of Sodom and Gomorrah rose up into heaven, and the Lord came and destroyed it. Well, the same will happen to this heathen nation. That's why our people ignorantly, the ones of the Latin tribes, they were like, oh, I'm over here in the land of dreams, in America. Yeah, man, you just came into the red zone, the target zone, the drop zone. This is not a blessing, man. This is cursed. This place is gonna be cursed, destroyed. This is gonna be where the lake of fire. So let me just continue. Daniel chapter 7, verse 12. As concerning the rest of the beast, They had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season. The Son of Man presented. This is Daniel chapter 7, verse 9, right? No, Salaki. Verse 13. I saw in the night vision, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. And there was given him dominion and glory and kingdom that all and a kingdom that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. The vision interpreted. Right? So now, real quick, it is promise of his coming and deliverance of his chosen people, the coming of Yahweh Shai. For the he said it, I think not that I don't come to for the world, but for the lost sheep of Israel, to establish what was lost, and to establish what was to be since the beginning, which is a righteous rulership under Yahweh Shai. We understand that Esau would rule at the end, before the coming judgment. Then no other kingdom, as we know through the scriptures, that no other kingdom will rise, because the final kingdom to be established will be the kingdom of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, with his 144,000 elect, judging the house of Israel and the other nations that are going to be underneath them, Salaki. So now, let me just jump to Amos chapter 9. So now, it's important to understand the reason, to understand that we are at the end of the last kingdom of man. And it is nice that we are in the last kingdom. At least we didn't come to, we're not, what I'm trying to say is that we're not awakened in this truth while being in the Persian captivity. So we Tawara Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, call Halamla Yahweh Bashem Yahushai for awakening us, and that we are being able to understand the course of these latter days. So this is Amos chapter 9, verse 11. In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof. And I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old. So, real quick right here, the tabernacle of David will be built up again. And for those who don't read, the tabernacle of David, his kingdom, his rulership, during the times that he reigned as king for the nation of Israel, he put into subjection the other nations. The other nations fell in line, When David was king and the Most High was with him, the enemies were the footstool. And then when his son reigned, King Solomon, there was 40 years of peace. So that's why here, as it says, Salaki, I was reading, that he will build it as his days of the old. He's talking about that type of rulership. That's why people are so surprised when they hear that that there's going to be slaves captivity in the kingdom of heaven. The ones that oppress the nation of Israel will be oppressed. So the kingdom of David, he conquered the enemies. The kingdom of Solomon, he had 40 years of peace with our enemies. That was only a glimpse of what's to come, is what I'm getting at. So again, let me just read Amos chapter 9, verse 11. In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof. And I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old, that they may possess the remnant of Edom and of all the heathen which are called by my name, saith the Lord that doeth this. So he's gonna possess. He's gonna raise the tabernacle of David. That they're gonna possess the land, the remnant of Edom and all the heathen. So there you have it. It's important to understand the last rulership, because after that rulership, the coming of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is coming. It's the most blessing day of the nation of Israel, but a terrible judgment is coming for all the other nations because this kingdom is at its end. So, Adawan Watazai was edifying, and Shalom unto the next.